Good night, everyone. And now it's time for another bedtime story with Mary T. And tonight's story is called Still Wild, Still Free, and it's by Mary Pooley. She stood alone in the hill field. The first time we spotted her, we thought she had just wandered from the flock. We scanned the surrounding countryside searching for her comrades, but found only a herd of wild goats grazing a little higher up in the mountain. My brother and I often tried to get close to that sheep, but she was having none of it and fled to the furthest corner to escape our childish attempts. The years passed, and as we grew older, we only sometimes walked the glen, but when we reached that field, the sheep was always there, proudly parading the perimeters, never leaving or allowing others to enter. She grew quite wild, and when one day my brother, far braver than me, tried again to get close, she turned, head bent, and charged in his direction. Abandoning his plan, he ran, tripping over rocks and rough ground to throw himself laughing on the grass beside me. Her eyes are red, sis, I swear, and her wool is so tangled and long. Probably full of maggots, I scorned. The track is rough for a wheelchair, but you are determined. Push, sis, it'll be fine. Put your back into it. When I turn the wheels, I'm not happy. This is bloody madness. The track only gets rougher from here. That bloody sheep must have died years ago anyway. I don't know why you want to go up there and the stream. What about that? We won't get across. You laugh. It's the same warm chuckle I grew up with. Come on, sis, where's your sense of adventure? It'll be fine, and that stream never had much water in it. We'll manage. But it's freezing. I watch my breath form a mist over your head, while rivulets of sweat run down my face from the exertion of pushing you. I'm so bloody unfit. The early frost has put a light dusting of white over the hills. On either side of us, cobwebs shine silver in the hedges, the morning sunlight illuminating their delicate magic. When we were children, this lane earmarked the changing seasons of our lives, the wild strawberries and raspberries plucked from the hedgerow in summer, purple damsons in autumn, and hazelnuts crushed beneath a rock to reveal their sweet core. And the flowers, the heady, almost sickly scent of wet meadowsweet. We ran our fingers through its silken, feathery stems. Translucent bluebells picked in May, foxgloves in June, red and purple fuchsia in the autumn, and branches of mountain ash heavy with their clumps of orange-red berries. Your words interrupt my reverie. Sorry about the breakup, sis. Mom said you got the house. That's good anyway. Bloody wheels stuck in a rut. Can't you lean a little to the right or something? See if we can get out. There. Is that any better? Sorry. Here, I'll grab the wheels again. The chair lurches a little to the side. Oops, careful now. I laugh at that phrase from childhood. Pity you weren't a bit more careful yourself, I retort. You are quiet for a moment, and I worry that I've upset you. But then I look ahead beyond the little stream we must cross. In the field above there is a form, a shape. You were excited, turning around to look at me and ask, do you think it's her, sis? Do you think that old sheep is still there, still alive after all this time? I don't answer, but push forward, not grumbling now, although my fingers are growing sore and red from grasping the handles of the chair. The ground is almost impossible. The mud at least has hardened overnight, but there are cattle tracks and ridges made by tractor wheels. I am no longer cold. We should never have married. I think I always knew that somewhere in my head. He wasn't a kind man. Anyway, it took a while to see that. Still hard though to end it. You reach back to touch my hand and say, remember how we used to roll down that hill beside the sheep field? And when it snowed, we used old fertilizer bags as sledges and barely stopped at the edge before that drop over the furze bushes. I know you never had any fear. Loved all of it. The mountains, the rock climbing. I never had your guts. I never really let all of this into my soul like you did. I waved my hand in front of me, encompassing the wild beauty, the peace, the solitude. I always wanted more. I shrugged my shoulders. Oh, sis, you're too hard on yourself. It's there in you too. Just open up and let it out. I'm pushing forward again. Bloody stream. The water is shallow, but still reaches over my boots, and the wheels of the chair are slipping on the stones. I'm sure both of us will end up falling over. It is then that I notice the hardened welts of skin underneath your thumbs and fingers. You are leaning forward in determination. The wheels are wet where your hands press down, propelling yourself forward. That must hurt. You should have worn gloves, I say, thinking the same. I can't manoeuvre the wheels as easily with gloves on. Anyway, I'll be getting an electric chair soon. But had the OT over to the clinic the other day measuring me up. You smile a little sadly then. Can't bring that up here though. Would wreck it. At last we reach the other side, and now there is just a muddy track between us and that field. It's all uphill though. I have a question. You know when you fell, they said you were trying to reach an injured climber stranded on a ledge, but the rock slide got you first. Did they survive? The person you tried to save? No one said. You answer softly. No, he died. We rest a moment, and I want to say it's okay. It was still a brave thing to do, but my hands are sore and my feet are wet, and my brother should be walking up this path beside me, not sitting while metal wheels do the job his legs once did so well. Your voice reaches me, loud this time, whooping, "Come on, sis! One last shove!" We're nearly there, but just as we reach the gate to the field, you stop. No. Wait. I don't want to see. I don't want to know. I want to imagine her there, still wild, still free, still covered in maggots, I said. You laugh, turning to the other gate with a questioning glance at the frost-covered hill. No, you're not serious. But that look on her face tells me all I need to know. I open the gate, and as we pant our way up the hill, you turn back to me and say, "I'd do it again, you know. It was what I had to do, and that's all we can ever do." Bloody brother, if we survive rolling down this hill together and I manage to get you back in the chair and over that stream and... The air is sharp and alive, and for the first time in a long time, so am I. Good night.